I'm sitting in a hotel room right now, staring at my phone, watching my entire life get destroyed in real time. And the worst part? I can't even go home. Not won't, can't. My girlfriend Madison made sure of that with one TikTok video. It started yesterday morning. I woke up to 89 missed calls. My phone was literally overheating from all the notifications. My brother's text just said, "Call me now." When I finally checked social media, there it was. Madison's face. Tears streaming down her cheeks. A massive black eye. Bruises covering her arms. And that caption, "I can't stay silent anymore. He beat me. I have proof. No woman should go through this." 2.8 million views. In 6 hours. The comments were exactly what you'd expect. Death threats against me. People finding my LinkedIn, my company's page. Someone had already posted my mom's Facebook profile saying, "This is his mother. Let her know what she raised." But here's the thing that makes this entire situation absolutely insane. I haven't been home in 4 days. Let me back up. I'm 31, a software developer, make decent money. Madison's 27, an influencer with about 45,000 followers. She makes maybe $2,000 a month when things are going well. Before I left for this work conference, 3 states away, by the way, we had a massive fight about money. Madison wanted me to fund her career pivot. She wanted to become a full-time content creator, and she wanted me to cover all the bills for an entire year while she built her brand. I said no. I told her she needed to keep her part-time job at the marketing firm. She completely lost it. Told me I was crushing her dreams, that I didn't believe in her. And the night before I left, she said something that now seems incredibly relevant. "You'll regret not supporting me. I'll make it big with or without you." Well, I guess she found her path to viral fame after all. So there I am at this conference, hundreds of miles away, with receipts for everything. Flights, hotel, conference registration, photos with colleagues every single day, all timestamped and geotagged. I have 17 different photos proving exactly where I was. I immediately called my lawyer. Well, my cousin Tony, but he's a lawyer, so it counts. He told me to document everything, stay put, don't go home, don't contact her, and absolutely don't post anything. But I did do one thing. I logged into my home security app. We have Ring cameras in the living room and kitchen. Madison knew about them. She actually helped pick them out. I started scrolling through the footage from yesterday morning, and what I found was absolutely jaw-dropping. 5:23 a.m. There's Madison, sitting at our kitchen table with her ring light set up and her makeup palette spread out in front of her. And I watched as she carefully applied purple and black eyeshadow around her eye, used some kind of sponge to create texture and bruising on her arms, and practiced crying into her phone camera. Multiple takes. At one point, and I'm not making this up, she literally said out loud, "Need more tears. This has to look real." 43 minutes. I watched 43 minutes of her meticulously preparing to destroy my life. Then she posted the video. I downloaded everything and sent it to Tony. His response? "This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen someone do on camera." But here's where it gets strategic. Tony told me, "Wait, let her dig deeper first." So I sat in that hotel room, watching my life implode on social media while holding evidence that could end this entire nightmare. People were posting photos of my apartment building saying he lives here. My employer called asking me to explain the situation. And then Madison texted me, "If you apologize publicly and give me $50,000 for my trauma, I'll consider not pressing charges." Charges for a beating that never happened. While I was in another state, with dozens of witnesses. This woman was trying to extort me. Over the next 48 hours, Madison didn't just stick to her story. She went absolutely scorched earth. She went live on Instagram, crying and shaking. He's trying to silence me with his lawyers. This is what abusers do. They intimidate you into silence. Another 1 million views. Then the mainstream media picked it up. There were actual news articles with headlines like "Software developer accused of domestic violence in viral TikTok." My company put me on administrative leave. My mom had to delete her Facebook after getting doxxed. My landlord called saying other tenants were concerned about their safety. But then Madison made the critical mistake that would ultimately destroy her. She filed an actual police report. Tony was ecstatic when I told him. She just committed a federal crime on paper, he said. Beautiful. We went to the police station together. I brought everything. Conference registration and attendance records. Flight receipts and boarding passes. Hotel receipts showing continuous stay. Those 17 photos with timestamps from conference events. And of course, the entire Ring camera footage. The detective watched the makeup application video 3 times. I'll never forget his face. He looked at me and said, "Applied bruise makeup," while narrating what she was doing. "Yes, sir. 43 minutes of it." He shook his head. In 20 years on the force, I've never seen someone film themselves committing a crime this thoroughly. They tried calling Madison to come in for follow-up questions, and of course, she immediately posted about it. "The police want to interrogate me." This is what happens when you speak up. They treat victims like criminals. Meanwhile, her follow account exploded to 400,000. Brands were reaching out for sponsorship deals. She started a Patreon for survivors that got 3,000 subscribers in a single day at $10 a month. She was making $30,000 monthly. From a lie. This is where Tony showed his brilliance. Instead of immediately exposing Madison, he said, "Let's give her more rope." He filed a civil defamation suit, but deliberately made it look weak, just asking for an apology and removal of the video. Madison's response was completely predictable. She hired some ambulance chaser who filed a countersuit for $500,000 for abuse, trauma, and attempted silencing of a victim. She posted the countersuit papers online with the caption, "He's suing me for speaking my truth. I'm fighting back." What she didn't know was that Tony had already given the Ring footage to the detective, who had forwarded it to the district attorney, who had already decided to press charges for filing a false police report, fraud, and cyberstalking. They were building their case while she was building her following. And Madison? She just kept digging. She did a podcast interview, a big one, 2 million subscribers. She told these elaborate stories about years of abuse. How I isolated her from friends. How I controlled her finances, which is ironic considering she literally wanted me to fund her entire lifestyle. How this beating was the first time she'd fought back. The host asked a simple question. Where was he when this happened? Madison hesitated for just a second. He came home drunk at 3 a.m. Gotcha. See, the Ring camera showed her leaving the apartment at 6 a.m. that morning. Alone, completely uninjured, wearing the same clothes from the abuse video but with no bruises yet. She forgot we had a camera by the front door too. Madison's lies started collapsing faster than she could spin new ones. First, someone on Reddit, bless the internet detectives, found old posts from 2 years ago where Madison bragged about taking a special effects makeup course for Halloween, complete with photos of realistic bruises she'd created on her friends. They had screenshots before she could delete anything. Then my co-workers from the conference started posting without me even asking. 12 different people shared photos and videos with me from every single day, all timestamped. One guy even had a selfie with me at the hotel bar at 2:47 a.m. the night of the alleged beating. 1,000 miles away from Madison. But Madison couldn't stop herself. She escalated even more. She started a documentary with some YouTube filmmaker, claiming she had hospital records and witness statements. She did interviews with 3 different podcasts in one day. She launched multiple crowdfunding campaigns across different platforms. Her mother got involved, posting this long Facebook rant about how she always knew something was off about me. That's when I decided to release my first piece of evidence. Not the makeup video, just the door camera footage of Madison leaving our apartment that morning. Uninjured. Singing along to music. Doing a little dance while waiting for her Uber. I posted it with a simple caption, "Morning of the incident." Note the timestamp. 500,000 views in 3 hours. People started calling her out, but her hardcore supporters claimed the footage was edited, taken out of context, or that I'd somehow threatened her into acting normal. Madison's response? She claimed I had hacked the footage, that it was AI generated, that I was technologically terrorizing her. And then she filed for a restraining order. The restraining order hearing was where everything changed. Madison showed up with her fake makeup bruises reapplied, crying the whole time, putting on this elaborate performance. Her bargain bin lawyer argued that I was harassing a victim through digital manipulation. Then Tony stood up with this calm, confident smile and said, "Your Honor, I'd like to submit exhibitor through, well, the whole alphabet." We had everything. The original ring footage with metadata proving it wasn't edited. The conference records. Flight manifests. The detective's report stating that her injuries were inconsistent with any form of actual physical trauma. The judge wanted to be thorough. She asked Madison directly, when exactly did this alleged assault occur? 3 a.m. And how did you know the exact time? I looked at the clock. Which clock? Madison hesitated. The one on the stove. Tony pulled up the kitchen camera footage from 3 a.m. The kitchen was completely dark and empty. And the stove clock? It actually showed 3:07 because we'd never bothered to fix it after daylight saving time. Madison started stammering. Her lawyer asked for a recess. The judge denied it. That's when Tony delivered the knockout blow. "Your Honor, we'd like to show the full morning footage." And right there in the courtroom, everyone watched 43 minutes of Madison applying fake bruises while narrating her process for the camera. The judge's face went from professional neutrality to barely contained fury. She looked directly at Madison and said, "Miss Fitzgerald, are you aware that perjury is a felony?" That's when Madison started really crying. Not the practiced, performance tears. The ugly, desperate crying of someone watching their entire scheme collapse in real time. Within hours of that hearing, someone leaked the courtroom audio. Madison's stammering. The judge's questions. Her lawyer's desperate objections. All of it. Madison tried damage control, posting a video claiming the court system had failed survivors and that she was being re-victimized by the patriarchy. But it was too late. The internet had turned. And then the district attorney's office made their move. They arrested her at our apartment. While she was on Instagram Live. She'd been ranting about corrupt systems when the police knocked on the door. And she kept filming, thinking it would help her narrative. "They are here to silence me," she shouted into her phone. "This is what happens when you speak truth to power." The officer's response was perfect. You're under arrest for filing a false police report, fraud, and perjury. This is intimidation. You have the right to remain silent." The live stream stayed up for 20 minutes before Instagram finally killed it. But by then, screen recordings were everywhere. The charges were serious. Filing a false police report, misdemeanor. Perjury, felony. Fraud over $30,000, felony. Cyber harassment, misdemeanor. Bail was set at $50,000. Her mother posted it, putting up her house as collateral. And that's when things got even more interesting. Madison's supporters started digging into her past, looking for evidence to support her. Instead, they found something very different. A pattern. 2 years earlier, she'd accused a coffee shop manager of assault when he fired her for stealing tips. That case was dropped when security footage showed her taking money from the jar. 3 years before that, she'd claimed a professor harassed her. The investigation found she'd never even taken his class. Madison had a documented history of false accusations when things didn't go her way. The brands that had reached out? Gone. Patreon subscribers demanded refunds. The documentary filmmaker publicly distanced himself from the project. But Madison still wasn't done. She called an actual press conference. Got a local news station to show up. Stood there with her mother and her lawyer, claiming this was all a massive conspiracy. That I'd paid off the police, the judge, everyone. That the footage was deepfaked using my tech connections. Then a reporter asked the question that ended everything. "Miss Fitzgerald, if the footage is fake, can you explain why your own Instagram shows you posting the original video at 6:15 a.m., after the timestamp of you applying the makeup?" Dead silence. Her lawyer tried to jump in, but Madison was already talking. I had to reapply it for the video because the lighting. She just admitted to applying the makeup. On live television. Her lawyer literally put his face in his hands. After that disaster, her lawyer dropped her immediately. She had to get a public defender for the criminal case. Meanwhile, Tony was building our civil case. We documented every single loss. Lost wages from unpaid leave, $8,500. Therapy costs. Hotel costs while I couldn't go home. Legal fees. A security system for my mom's house after she got doxxed. 3 job offers that were withdrawn. A consulting contract worth $75,000 that was cancelled. But the really interesting part? Remember those fundraising campaigns where Madison raised $85,000 for survival and legal fees? Want to know what she actually spent it on? A Mercedes lease down payment. Designer clothes. A vacation package to Bali. She literally booked a vacation during all of this. Cosmetic procedures. All tracked through her social media posts and credit card records that we subpoenaed. The civil judge was not amused. The judgment came down, $105,900 in actual damages, plus $250,000 in punitive damages. Plus, she had to return all the fundraised money to donors. The criminal trial was almost anticlimactic because the DA had everything. The ring footage, her confession on live TV, the pattern of false accusations, the fundraising fraud. Madison took a plea deal. 18 months in prison. 3 years probation. And she had to register as a vexatious litigant, meaning she needs court permission to file any future lawsuits. But the best part was the allocution. That's when the defendant has to stand up and admit in detail what they did. Madison had to stand in that courtroom and say, "On this date, I knowingly applied makeup to simulate injuries. I then posted a video falsely claiming my boyfriend had assaulted me. I knew this was false as he was in another state at the time. I filed a false police report and committed perjury during the restraining order hearing." Someone was doing courtroom sketches. Madison's face as she admitted everything became a meme within hours. It's been 3 months since Madison entered prison. I'm in a new apartment now. Had to move because the old place was too tied to all the drama. The judgment stands, but I'll never see most of that money. Madison's broke. She owes restitution to donors and has massive legal debt. I did get the Mercedes they seized, sold it, recovered about $20,000. Better than nothing. My company brought me back with back pay and an apology. They even implemented new policies about handling social media accusations. Investigate before taking action. One of those companies that withdrew their job offer? They reached back out. Offered me the position plus a 20% salary bump for the inconvenience. I took it. Fresh start. My mom's okay. She's back on Facebook but keeps it private. Madison's estranged father even reached out to apologize and said he'd warned people for years that his daughter had been doing this since high school. Tony framed the courtroom sketch of Madison's confession. Hangs it in his office. Says it's his favorite piece of art. Here's what I learned from this nightmare. Always have security cameras. Always. Document everything, every trip, every receipt, every interaction. When someone threatens to ruin your life, believe them and prepare accordingly. Don't engage on social media. Let lawyers handle it. And understand this. The truth eventually comes out. But it might cost you everything first. To anyone facing false accusations, get a lawyer immediately. Don't try to reason with someone who's willing to lie to destroy you. They've already shown you who they are. Madison gets out in 11 months. She'll have to do 100 hours of community service specifically helping actual domestic violence victims. The irony isn't lost on anyone. As for me, I'm rebuilding. One day at a time. And I still have those cameras running.